Georgia-Clemson, because I briefly touched on this with Wes. Where do you stand on that? Do you think it was two games? Do you think it was two teams that were far lesser than we expected, or was it the competition on the other side of the field that made it look that way?
I think Georgia's defense is amazing. I think that's one thing. Their defense is absolutely incredible. With that said, this is the weakest offensive line we have seen from Clemson in a really long time.
Bad.
And I don't know what DJ is. I don't know if he's really good. I don't know if what we saw last year in that Notre Dame game was an aberration. But Byron Leftwich is a good analogy of what we saw.
When did he become Byron Leftwich?
Yeah, that's what he looked like. And look, Georgia's offense kind of looked how I expected. JT Daniels was wildly overrated going into this season. He's an average college quarterback.
Too.
And we saw that. We saw Captain check down the entire game. And they did nothing. They had two drives that were good. That one was the missed field goal, and the other one was a short field, as it was anyway, where they got their only field goal of the game. So, look, Georgia's defense is incredible. That is a legitimate top 3 unit defensively in the country. Clemson's defense looked better than I thought, but I thought that had more to do with JT Daniels and Georgia's offense. But look, Sean King, I was in for Tim Murray on the nightcap a few weeks ago, Sean's first week. And Sean King, of course, former NFL quarterback and now a host on the network here, said Clemson's going 9-3. He thought that this was a regress, and he thought that there were enough questions about the offensive line and DJ that you could see Clemson take a step back.
Well, he's on his way.
He's 1/3 of the way there now.
He's on his way.
Loss.
Yeah. He's on his way, for sure. And Georgia, pencil him in to the playoffs, the national semis. Pencil him in.
Yeah, they go 12-0.
Yeah.
If they go 12-0 in the regular season,
even if they lose one, now they get the benefit of the doubt on this. It's going to be the sort of tiebreaker of everything.
So just Gill, just a question for you on this. Just looking at this, because as soon as those props of 2 SEC teams making the playoffs pop up, the yes should be hammered into oblivion, because Alabama's going undefeated.
Right.
I know there will be people that want to go for the shock jock value against A&M in a few weeks. Alabama's going to roll A&M.
But here's the thing. The books also know that it's stacked in favor of the SEC.
I know.
This just in.
Yeah.
Speaking of A&M, they did end up covering against Kent State, but it was 10-3 at the half. Like, they were another team that everybody expected to be awesome for at least half that game. You're like, oh, no. But this from Scott Gordon, I don't know if people saw this. Kenosha 11th. Kenosha. Oh, pardon me. It's Kenosha 11th. Pardon me. I'm like reading it through Ron Burgundy-ish. That was very Celebrity Jeopardy of me. Kenosha 11th. Scott Gordon, Gill, is there any possible way you could do a deep dive on the last 5 minutes of Saturday's Texas A&M Kent State game? Numerous coaching decisions were made in an effort for Kent State to cover the -29. Karma alert, no kicker should wear number 60. So what he's referring to is their kicker wore number 60 and ended up missing the what would have been the cover deciding field goal. But here's what he's talking about. So again, I mentioned Texas A&M was up 10-3 at the half. But they go out all the way to a 41-10 lead. I'm going to take off my glasses, Cronkite style, because this is interesting here. 41-10. Kent State now, with less than 7 minutes left in the game, they matriculate the ball down the field. And again, they're down 31. Keep that in mind. They're down 31. They have a 1st and goal at the 6 with under 5 minutes left, and on 2nd down, they run a running play, which seemed a little strange. Anyway, they attempt a 25-yard field goal down 31, and they miss it. Andrew Glass misses it. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's cut the lead. Let's cut the lead to 28 for no apparent reason. Remember, the spread was right around 28.5, 29.5. Then A&M, Kent State picks off an A&M pass with under 2 minutes left. And so A&M has it Kent State has it 1st and 10 at the A&M 30 with 1:24 left. And like the first down is a running play, and then there was then they get a 1st and goal at the 10, and after a sack, then they run it for 2, they run it again. And then 3rd and goal at the 13 with 21 seconds left, they run it again, basically trying to set up a field goal again to cover. What are you doing? And then they miss a 24-yard field goal and don't get the cover. Sorry, I'll put the glasses back on. I mean, there's so many themes in college football like that. The coaches seem to be painfully aware in some cases of the spread. Maybe I'm wrong, but that seemed a little suspicious. Thank you for that tweet, Scott Gordon. There's that. Like, what kind of other epidemics are there in college football? Here's one. No one takes a knee, Jeff. No one takes a knee. You know how in the NFL, they're like, well, we got this game. We'll just take a knee, and that's the end of that. And by the way, for betting purposes, like, you can count on that. But how many times through the years in college football have you lost a college football bet because someone who needed to take a knee is like, no, we'll just rush this up a middle, and, oh, what do you know, it went 60 yards. So, Jim Harbaugh won't take a knee. Ohio State wouldn't. Tennessee wouldn't. Nobody takes a knee. But coaches knowing the spread, that's something to think about. So here's the thing with the unders. You ready for this, Jeff? I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Are you aware of the record of unders hitting this week in college football? In games involving at least one FBS team, unders went 43-22-1. Any theories? Do you think it's an aberration, or do you think there is a theory?
Aberration.
Dr. Bob Stoll, who went 7-0, by the way, this weekend against the spread and on his best bets and strong opinions, who will be on the show every Friday this year during college football season. He has a theory about this, and I'm trying to get him to share it with us on Friday, and I think I have succeeded. So he may have some under bets this weekend that he's going to share it with us. But 43-22-1 to the under. The other thing, I remember that super tough Illinois team that beat Nebraska. They lose outright to Texas San Antonio. So just another bad look for Nebraska. And last night, can we just say this? This has nothing to do with betting. Well, ultimately it did because the money line came into play. But Notre Dame and FSU, which initially looked like Notre Dame was going to run them out of the building because, it was like they scored on a fourth down early. There's also some drops by receivers like, Notre Dame could crush them. And Notre Dame's defense early looked awesome. And then next thing you know, you look up, Florida State has two huge plays. Then Notre Dame goes up 18 points later, and you're like, oh, yeah, I was right to begin with. Notre Dame is going to run them out of the building. And then Florida State, Milton McKenzie gets in this game. And it's like a script, a Hollywood script. Joe Tessitore said it. Milton McKenzie, who was so good at Central Florida, who had that catastrophic leg injury where arteries and his ligaments were involved, and no one knew if he could ever walk right again, let alone play big-time college football. He comes in the game and leads them on just a dramatic drive late in this game, and it was just unbelievable. The Hollywood script didn't end correctly, or well, I should say, because obviously Notre Dame won it by a field goal in overtime, 41-38. But first of all, why wasn't he starting to begin with? And secondly, so many things about that game. Getting field goals on the correct hash mark. Brian Kelly seemed to get that last night. Not so much on the other side of the football.